You think when she rejects you and then comes back, it means you finally won. But what it really means is you were never clear about your value in the first place. You're sitting there replaying it like a movie. The no, the silence, the dry replies, the way she looked through you like you weren't even a man. And then out of nowhere, she reappears. Like a hey stranger, a random question she could have Googled, and your chest lights up because you think this is proof. Proof she realized. Proof she misses you. Proof you were right to wait. No. Stop. Listen to me. If you need truth like this, truth that doesn't pet your ego, truth that actually rebuilds your spine, then subscribe right now. Not for me, for you. Because you don't need more entertainment. You need reminders. You need a voice that yanks you back to reality when your emotions start negotiating your self-respect away. Here's the thesis, and I'm going to make it plain. When a woman comes back after rejecting you, it's rarely about love. It's about leverage, curiosity, comfort, validation, or timing. And the only reason it becomes your problem is because you confuse attention with commitment. That's the disease. Attention feels like progress. A text feels like redemption. A smile feels like permission. And you start building a fantasy empire out of crumbs. Let's climb the ladder. The misconception is this: she came back because she chose me. But the hard truth is this: she came back because she could. You left the door unlocked. You left your energy available. You left your emotional number on the fridge like a delivery menu. So when she gets bored, stressed, lonely, disappointed, or simply wants to feel powerful again, she knows exactly where to go. And you, because you want to believe you're the exception, call it fate. It's not fate, it's access. Now, let's talk about why it happens. Root cause, not surface level dating advice. Women don't come back to men they truly close the chapter on. They come back to men who still carry unresolved energy, men who didn't end it cleanly, men who are still orbiting, men who still flinch at her name on the screen. You know what that is? That's called unfinished business. Not because she owes you something, because your presence still gives her something. And before you get in your feelings, this isn't women are evil. This is human psychology. People return to where they feel impact, where they feel significance, where they feel a door still opens when they knock. If you were the guy who stayed calm, stayed kind, didn't explode, didn't beg, but you also didn't draw a hard line, you become the perfect place to check in because you're safe. And safe sounds sweet until you realize what it really means in this context. You are not respected as a man with standards. You're respected as a man who can be used as a cushion. Let me say it sharper. If she rejected you, she already decided you weren't the priority. If she comes back without a clear, direct, accountable explanation and you accept her like nothing happened, you teach her something about you. You teach her that your boundaries are flexible when you're emotionally hungry. You teach her that your standards collapse under female attention. You teach her that you can be paused and resumed like an app. And that's when it gets dangerous. Not because she's playing you, but because you start playing yourself. You stop working. You stop lifting. You stop building. You stop meeting new women. You stop being present in your own life. You stop acting like a man with a mission. And you become a man waiting for a notification. Presence versus silence, reality versus fantasy, a man moving forward versus a man hovering in limbo. Let's go deeper. Why does she come back after rejecting you? Sometimes it's because she tested other options and they didn't work. And before you scream, "So I'm second choice," you're asking the wrong question. The real question is, why are you available to be a second choice? Sometimes it's because she misses the way you made her feel, not you. The feeling, the attention, the steadiness, the admiration, the emotional labor you gave her for free. And when that feeling disappears, she comes back to recharge. That's called validation farming. Sometimes it's because you improved. She saw you leveling up, new photos, better energy, more confidence, more respect from others, and now your value is visible, not because you changed who you are, but because you finally stopped chasing and your absence created contrast. That's called scarcity, doing what your begging never could. Sometimes it's because she never fully rejected you. She rejected the version of you that showed up with uncertainty, with neediness, with please choose me energy. But when you grow into the man who chooses himself, the dynamic shifts. And here's the part that's going to sting. She can feel whether you respect yourself, not through your words, through your behavior, through what you tolerate, through what you do when she pulls away, through whether your life collapses when she leaves. A woman can't relax into respecting you if you don't respect you. Now, what does it cost you when you handle this wrong? It costs you your masculinity, not in the loud, fake alpha sense, in the quiet, internal sense. The ability to stand on principle, the ability to say, no, that doesn't work for me. The ability to walk away from a woman you want because the price is your dignity. Because every time she comes back and you accept her with open arms without clarity, you reinforce a pattern. She leaves, you ache, she returns, you reward. She leaves, you ache, she returns, you reward. That's not romance. That's conditioning. That's called intermittent reinforcement, and it's one of the strongest addiction loops on earth because the unpredictability wires you. You start craving the relief, not the relationship. You start chasing the high, not the truth. And then you wonder why you can't think straight. You're not weak. You're untrained. So here's the reframe. And it's the only one that serves you. When she comes back, it's not a sign to open your heart. It's a test to see if you've grown a backbone. It's an invitation to act like the man you keep saying you want to become. Because the man who wins in this situation is not the man who gets her back. It's the man who doesn't lose himself. Let me paint the archetype for you. The man who handles this right, he's not bitter. He's not angry. He doesn't rant about women. He doesn't post quotes to cope. He doesn't seek revenge. He doesn't need to teach her a lesson. He's grounded. He has a life that runs with or without her. He wakes up with purpose. He trains his body, he builds his money, he sharpens his mind, he keeps his circle clean, he speaks plainly, he doesn't negotiate attraction, he doesn't audition for love, he respects women, but he respects himself more. When she reaches out, he doesn't get high, he doesn't get mean, he gets clear, he listens, he observes, he asks one question with his energy, not his mouth. What has changed? Because he knows the difference between a woman returning with accountability and a woman returning with nostalgia. Accountability sounds like I was wrong, I mishandled it. I want to do this differently, and I'm willing to earn my way back into your life. Nostalgia sounds like, hey, you miss you've been thinking. One is a woman choosing, the other is a woman checking, and he does not build a future on a check-in. Now I'm going to give you the tight sequence. This is what you do. This is what you stop. This is where you redirect. First, you stop replying fast, not as a tactic, as a discipline. If your nervous system is trained to jump when she pings you, you're not in control. You're being managed by dopamine. Second, you stop acting like the past didn't happen. You do not reward disappearance with instant intimacy. No, ha ha ha, wow, it's been forever. No emotional reunion, no late night calls, no soft boy relief. Third, you require clarity calmly, directly. You don't interrogate, you don't accuse, you simply say in your own words, what are you reaching out for? And then you let silence do its job because silence is a lie detector. Fourth, you watch behavior, not sentiment. If she's serious, she will be consistent. She will show up. She will respect your pace. She will accept your standards without punishing you for them. If she's not serious, she will get vague. She will get offended. She will try to flip it on you. Wow, you're cold now. I guess you're mad. Never mind. That's not her being hurt. That's her losing control. Fifth, you redirect your energy back to your mission immediately, even if she's back, especially if she's back, because your purpose is not something you pause for female attention. Your purpose is what makes you a man worth staying with in the first place. And here's the part you might not want to hear. Sometimes the correct move is to not take her back at all. Even if she begs, even if she's sweet, even if she says all the right things, because your self-respect is not a hotel where people check in when it's convenient. If she rejected you with disrespect, if she toyed with you, if she kept you on the shelf while entertaining other men, if she made you feel small and now she's back because her options dried up, then taking her back doesn't make you loyal. It makes you available. And availability without standards is desperation wearing a nice shirt. Now, let's talk about the real goal here. The real goal is not to understand female psychology so you can outsmart women. That's weak. That's still chasing control outside yourself. The real goal is self-relimation. It's you becoming the man who doesn't get emotionally hijacked by someone's inconsistency. It's you becoming the man who can feel desire and still keep his dignity. It's you becoming the man who can walk away from confusion and choose peace. Because the moment you stop needing her to come back is the moment you become the kind of man she can't forget. Not because you played a game, because you became real. You became the standard. Let me ask you a question that cuts through everything. If she never came back, Who would you be forced to become? Would you finally level up? Would you finally build the body? Would you finally focus on your craft? Would you finally stop chasing people who don't choose you? Would you finally become dangerous in the discipline sense? Good. Do that anyway. Do it while she's gone. Do it if she returns. Do it even if you get married one day. Because that is the foundation of masculine self-respect. You do not outsource your identity to a woman's mood. And if she does come back with real intent, she will meet a man who doesn't punish her, but also doesn't pedestal her. A man who can say, I'm open to seeing where this goes, but I move with standards. Now that sentence right there, standards will either elevate the connection or end the illusion. And either outcome is a win because you're not here to be chosen. You're here to choose. Read that again in your mind.